Hi, YouTube. This is me reading One Amazing Elephant, pages 65 to 82. Queenie Grace is in trouble. I'm in trouble. Big trouble. They have chained me all because I ate peanuts. I had never before been chained in this place. Bill the Giant would never even chain me. It is morning. I am still confined by the chain. Violet brings my water. She does not speak. Trulia brings my food. I will not eat. I will teach them how to treat an elephant. I wish I could paint. I wish I could do my tricks. I wish it was summer and the circus was my life. I wish that was my best friend Bill would come back and take off the chain. I wish that the girl Lily would just go away. She used to blame for leaving the peanuts where I could see. The girl was teasing me. I wish she could just go home, where she belongs, and I wish that everything wrong would turn right. I wish that Saturday had never turned to night. I wish the giant had not decided to mow the grass. I wish that his heart had been stronger. I wonder how long I will remain on this chain. This day feels like a year, feels like forever. I will never be okay again. A Christmas tizzy. It's Christmas, Monday morning, and the elephant keens and whines outside. There's no way you can get away from the racket. Grandma Violet is making French toast for breakfast. Mike sleeps on the recliner. Truly is snoozing on the sofa. They both snore. I'm sitting on the floor trying to block out the noise of elephant with the TV. The elephant just keeps going with her sad sounds. Birds chirp outside and the sky is bright, but inside it's dim and quiet and thick with grief. No joy to the world in here. More like, let's open this stuff and get it over with so we can all go back to being sad and alone. I open the first one, crumple the wrapping paper, and shove it into the trash bag Grandma brought into the living room. A set of watercolors, I say. Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome, Grandma says. Here's another one for me. She hands me a big package. I pull off the snowman paper. It brushes, an easel, and canvases. Cool, I say. Now I can paint here in Florida. Trulia hands me a gift. I open it. A coloring book and Crayola crayons. Look, it's all wildflowers, she says, as if I can't see that. It's like you and me, Lily, wildflowers. That's us. Why'd you get her a little kid coloring book? Mike asks. She's too big for that. Ugh, nobody's too old for coloring, Trulia says. My therapist recommends it. It's great stress relief. Mike just shakes his head. She hands me another one, wrapped in paper, and says, Happy birthday. I open it. Pink flip-flops with sparkly sequins and a flowery dress. You'll be a teenager next year, and we need to get you looking stylish, Julia says. Plus, you need something decent to wear for the funeral. I look at her. Julia's eyes are red, smeared with sleep and mascara. Thank you, I say. These might be my first ever gifts from my mother, at least as far back as I can remember. And last but not least, one from me, says Mike. He hands me a package wrapped in newspaper. I open it. It's a rainbow loom to make rubber band bracelets. Now you can make a bracelet for everybody in Gibtown, Mike says. Thank you, I say, even though I had no desire to make rubber band bracelets. Nice to make Christmas fun for a kid, Mike says. I never had that. Nobody ever cared enough. That's sad, I say, but then he changes the subject. Open it up, he says. Check it out. Grandma and Trulia ooh and ah over the rainbow loom. They're all acting in that fake perky way that adults put on whenever they're actually super sad. It's as if the outside totally clashes with the inside, like trying to match plaid with stripes. It kind of hurts my eyes to look at them, so false and full of pretend life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At least I'm polite. My dad taught me right. We're sitting down to a noon Christmas dinner, all four of us squished around the tiny table in the teeny kitchen. There's ham and peas and stovetop stuffing and potato rolls. Nobody said grace. Nobody's talking, just eating. Grandma's eyes are puffy, and Trulia still hasn't washed and smudged makeup from her face. Mike is sweating, beads of perspiration snaking down his cheeks. You two should think about getting rid of that elephant, Mike says out of the blue. Grandma Violet raises her eyes from her plate to Mike's face, and they cut sharp like a knife. Don't even say that, not even a joke, she snaps. Bill would never have gone for that. Well, what if it keeps acting up and hurts somebody? What if you can't afford to keep it, to feed it? now that the act can't happen, maybe it'll just have to be the amazing Queenie Grace and her best friend Violet, Grandma says. She spoons peas into her mouth, swallowing what she really wants to say. Mom, you know that you and Queenie Grace will never click like Dad did with her, says Julia, looking up with her shadowed eyes. How about the amazing Queenie Grace and her best friend Mike? Asks Mike. He wipes his forehead with his paper napkin. Pfft, Queenie Grace doesn't even like you, Julia says. Probably likes me more than it likes you, retorts Mike. Stop bickering, you two, says Grandma Violet. Set an example for Lily here. And no more discussion about Queenie Grace, please. Not until later. It's just too overwhelming right now. I feel so bad for Queenie Grace, Julia says. I know exactly how she feels. She feels empty and confused and mad and sad, all wrapped up in one big fat package. Grandma nods. You don't have to be human to feel grief, she says. Julia pushes away from the table, still in her chair. She pulls back the little white curtain to peer out at the kitchen window. Where the heck is Queenie Grace anyway? She says. She's not out there. Julia lets the curtain fall back, presses both hands to her head. She's got to be out there, Mike says, dropping his fork. I chained her right to the tree. Mike and Julia both stand, pushing each other to be the first at the living room window. They remind me of two toddlers in a crowded daycare, both of them brats. My grandmother hops up and runs outside, her long hair flying behind. She's not out here, she hollers from the little porch. Grandma shades her eyes, looks left and right, frantic. Queenie Grace, she yells, like calling a dog. Queenie Grace! The yippy little poodles next door are yapping their heads off. Where could she be? Shrieks Julia. I have no idea, my grandma shouts in the porch, and she's a silhouette against the blinding bright blue Florida sky. Who knows? As far as an elephant can run. No way, says Julia. This can't be happening. Call 911, says my grandma. We need to find her. What if she runs out on the road? My grandma dashes into the yard, and Julie and Mike both turn and bump into each other, like on a funny TV show. These three are all in a tizzy about their runaway elephant, and so they don't even notice me as I run outside. I just sprint past Grandma, veer to the left, and dash fast past the home of Creepy Charlie, the fire-eating weirdo. My Converse sneakers slap the black pavement. Forward, forward. I can obviously run much faster than those three old people, who are freaking out so loud I can still hear them. I'm going to find that elephant. Queenie Grace is free from the chains. It is early morning, and I am free of the chains. I broke them because there was an insect. It was buzzing yellow jacket, and I did not want to be stung. So now I'm running. I'm afraid as if the entire world has turned into one big buzzing bee. I'm scared of being without Bill, scared of having nowhere to go, scared of leaving my home. I can feel my heart inside of me. I run. I thunder past the yipping little dogs and the sleeping lion and the climbing monkey. I run past the quiet trailers. People are noticing, coming out on their porches, staring. Some yell. I run past the things that are no longer used in the circus. The rusted Ferris wheel and the silent carousel and the abandoned cotton candy stand. I run all the way to the end of the winter camp, to the water, the lake where the giant once caught fish. I stop to drink and drink and drink. Oh, I am so thirsty. I drink until I see a winter fish, swimming silver and quick. The fish startles me. It makes me think too much of Bill. Bill loved to hold a fishing pole in water, waiting patiently for the nibbling bites of hungry fish. I wish he were here with me still. I begin to run again. My ears flap, my trunk swings, my feet pound the ground. I sound powerful. Cars stop on the road and people use their phones to take my picture. Somebody screams, "An elephant! It could kill us! Get back in the car!" I would not kill anything. I've never hurt anyone. The alligator boy. I am out of breath, wheezing a little bit, running with this unusual-looking boy who joined me just past Grandma's trailer. He is apparently one of the neighbors, and it must be that boy they told me about. The kid has this weird skin condition. He's all wrinkled like an alligator, except more rumpled in a human flesh kind of way. He has pitch black, long, and floppy skater hair, and he's wearing a faded Led Zeppelin t-shirt, which I guess kind of goes well with the old man skin. Queenie Grace, she'll run toward the lake, the boy says, panting. I saw her take off. Luckily, there isn't much time for me to stare or to ask any questions. We're actually way too busy running to be awkward. You don't have much time to be shy when you're on the trail or tail of a runaway elephant. We run and run, quiet except for our shoes and our breath, through the trailer park with its glitzy Christmas decorations. Nothing more disorienting than Santa and reindeer and gigantic inflatable snowmen when it's sunny and 75 degrees. I'm wheezing worse with that tight chest feeling I sometimes get. My heart is a crazy thing, and it's like invisible fingers are choking my throat. The boy's breathing hard too. We run in pretty much the same rhythm as if we practice slapping the baking macadam as we run around potholes and big jagged stones. Watch that hole, the kid gasped, and I swerve around a big dip that might go clear to China. A few people stare, but I don't care. Nobody knows me here. Hey, Henry Jack, croaks an old man, but we just keep going. We pound out of the trailer park, past the giant boot statue, and now we are running on the real road, yellow lines and blue sky and signs. Plus cars. Dad would have a conniption if he knew this. There she is, huffs the boy, and we both skid to a stop by the side of the road. Queenie Grace looms between green trees just off the right side of the road, drinking from a lake. Cars are stopping and shocked people are going wild with surprise. All I see are cell phones held up clicking pictures. All I hear are voices saying the same thing. Elephant! Queenie Grace stops drinking, swings her head for a glimpse of the road, and then starts to run. I can feel the thunder of her weight shaking the earth from here. We'll never catch her. She's a wild animal, and she's going to go where she wants to go, do what she wants to do, run if she wants to run. Queenie Grace, calls the boy. Wait, please stop. Wait for us. She does. The elephant stops in her tracks, remains frozen in place. I can't believe she listened, I say, panting behind, bending forward and trying to catch my breath. I look up at the boy beside me. The boy smiles, which is quite a sight when his face is a human map of wrinkles and ruts in his skin. It's as if the entire face turns into a crumpled up piece of paper that some little kid scribbled on. This elephant always listens to me, the boy says. We're like that. He crosses his middle finger over his index finger in that way of wishing for something lucky. We take off again, but not nearly as fast. And when we finally arrive by the side of this patiently waiting elephant, we stop again to catch our breath. Queenie Grace just stands there like this is an old, normal day, and without thinking, I lay my hand against her. She's warm, almost like an enormous, friendly dog. I leave my hand there for a few seconds, letting it sink in. I'm touching an elephant. My hand is on the elephant. She stopped because she totally knows me, says the boy. He leans his forehead against the elephant for a few seconds, as if pressing away a headache. Or maybe he's just extremely relieved. Wonder why she ran away, he says. She never does that. Well, they chained her up to this tree last night, I reply. She broke a window and she stole my peanuts and cut her trunk. See, she has a bandage. Then this morning, while we were opening presents, all you heard was her crying and throwing fits. By the time it was dinner, she just broke loose, I guess. Wow, says the boy. They chained her? They never chain her. I shrug. Maybe she deserved it, like being grounded. She was bad, like now they have to fix the window and all. The kid shakes his head. Queenie Grace is awesome, he says, turning his head to look at me. She's always awesome. We're best friends, Queenie Grace and me. We've known each other since I was born. Queenie Grace used to rock my cradle with her trunk. I was afraid of her when I was a baby. Actually, I still am. You might as well be afraid of the sky, says the boy. It's more likely that you'd get hurt by the sky than get hurt by Queenie Grace. The kid's skin is as wrinkled as the elephant's, and he's quite comfortable keeping his cheek pressed against her side. The elephant swings her head to look back at him, and she almost seems to smile. Then she reaches her trunk over and hugs his shoulders with it. It's a surprising moment, and I melt a little inside, kind of like when you're watching a movie with a sweet scene, and the background music tells you to feel the feelings. I've known this elephant all my life, says the boy. More than 12 years. By the way, my name's Henry Jack. Henry Jack O'Toole, otherwise known as the Alligator Boy. I was part of the twins with alligator skin, but now it's just me. So where's the other one? He died, says Henry Jack O'Toole, all matter of fact. Sometimes people with this condition don't live too long. Oh, I never know what to say to something like that. See, when you work with the circus, they like to make a big deal about skin, Henry Jack says. He steps back from Queenie Grace and flips his hair away from his face by throwing his head back like a rock star. Like, there's elephant skin and rubber skin and elastic skin and armadillo skin and butterfly skin. But really, skin is just skin. It comes in different colors and random states of wrinkledness, but really, it's all the same. It just covers what's underneath the important stuff, the organs and the bones and the heart and the soul. I nod, look down at the elephant's monstrous feet, take a step back. It's so quiet here by the water, under the trees, that I can almost hear her tail swishing back and forth, and I definitely hear elephant breath. Sometimes it sounds like snoring, plus my own whistling, wheezing breathing, not that I need my inhaler. Not yet. So you're Lily, right? Asked Henry Jack. Lily Rose, I remember seeing you with Bill in West Virginia. Yeah, I'm Lily Pruitt. Bill was my grandpa. I know, I'm really sorry about him. About your grandpa. Thanks, I say. And, oh yeah, you rode Queenie Grace into that big top in West Virginia. I remember. She was running like crazy. I'm never doing that again, I say. I did it for my grandpa. I remember him talking about you, says Henry Jack. He always called you Lily Rose, and he talked about you like all the time. Bill bragged about you nonstop. Really? Sure, Henry Jack pulls his t-shirt away from his body, fanning himself, and I catch a glimpse of wrinkled belly skin. What did he say? Just stuff about how wonderful his perfect granddaughter is, all that. Huh, I say. Well, I'm far from perfect, but maybe he really thought that I was. Was so nice. I know, Bill was so freaking cool. I could not believe it when I heard. I still can't. I know, right? We're so caught up in our conversation that I realize I'm kind of forgetting about the elephant and the fact that the three of us are in this together. So I stretch my arm out and touch her again, carefully, 2 fingers, just to remind myself that she is there, that she is real. Queenie Grace just stands there, patient, swaying her trunk and shifting her weight from side to side. Through the trees, I can see that a few cars remain stopped along the road, people just there, gawking. Well, I guess we better get this runaway elephant back home, I say, before people call the police or shoot at her or something. If anybody shoots at Queenie Grace, says Henry Jack, they are going to have to get through me first. I would take a bullet for this girl. Seriously? I say. It's cool. Well, not that you would be shot, but that you can love an elephant so much. Henry Jack O'Toole pats the elephant, looks up into her right eye, and talks soft and low. Come on, sweetheart, he says. We're taking you home.